On the news, amid security crisis in Plateau State, Hausa and Fulani communities reject Governor Mutfwang's call for military withdrawal. Edo Governor Kwebolo denies issuing threat against Peter Obi over visit to state, says comment was on security protocol. And retired police officers in Taraba State and the FCT shun warning protest against poor welfare. Thank you for joining News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I'm Simisola Adigun. We begin in Plateau State, where leaders of the Muslim and Hausa Fulani communities have rejected calls by Governor Caleb Mutfwang for the withdrawal of the military from peacekeeping operations in the state. The state government had on Friday, through the Special Envoy on Peace and Security to Governor Mutfwang, demanded the withdrawal of soldiers from crisis areas and replaced them with mobile policemen, which they say will ensure a more effective and responsive security strategy responsive security strategy now that prioritizes fighting against asymmetrical warfare, which the MOPOL is conversant with. However, in a statement issued on Sunday, the elders expressed fears and concerns over the demand by the governor, saying Muslims and Fulani people are being targeted. The group cited what it describes as abuse of their rights and existence in the past as the basis for their fears, and called on the government to rather dig deep and tackle the causes of the incessant crisis in the state instead of demanding a withdrawal of soldiers from flashpoints. And President Bola Tinubu has paid tributes to the late Awujale of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Adetono, describing him as a symbol of integrity, humility, and dedication to service. The president made the remarks during the 8th-day prayer held for the late traditional ruler at the Otumba Dipo Dino Stadium in Ijebu-Ode, the Ogun State capital, in Ogun State over the weekend, where he referred to the late monarch as a moral compass. Tinubu praised his leadership, noting that he was a pride of the Yoruba race and left behind legacies worthy of emulation. Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun also attended the prayer service, commending President Tinubu for his presence, saying it underscores the strong relationship between the president and the late monarch.
Well, at this stage, I must mention clearly how much I thank you for taking care of our father. He is our leader of conscience, tradition, and a great value. He brought pride, dignity, and honor to the Yoruba race. I'm extremely proud of him. He was always there at that time of need for all of us. I could recount the June 12th episode, our protest then, our episode in his palace, a foray, our resistance, our determination to reverse the annulment of June 12th. Papa was steadfast, was resolute, was very encouraging. That he lived to see the calendar as a 91-year-old person, to be honored at his 90th birthday.
A historic achievement that not only honored KBAC's far-sighted vision, but also firmly positions Ogun State as a center of policy innovation and elite public service training in Nigeria and across sub-Saharan Africa. I also want to thank Mr. President for adopting the Tai Sholari University of Education as a federal university, also to honor our revered KBSC. Thank you for clapping. In appreciation of our love, respect, and support for KBSC, one of my first actions upon assuming office was immediate award for reconstruction the Ijebu-Ode Mojoda Ekpe Road, a project KBSC held dearly. That road became our administration's first major infrastructure initiative.
And a group of retired police officers have staged a peaceful protest in Abuja on Monday to draw attention to the poor welfare conditions of serving and retired members of the Nigeria Police Force. The protest was led by the convener of the Revolution Now movement, Omoyele Sowore, to demand urgent intervention from the federal government. They expressed displeasure over what they describe as years of neglect, non-payment of pensions, and poor treatment of officers who had served the nation diligently. The protesters also warned that if the government fails to respond promptly, they will sustain their action until their demands are met.
We are not here to talk to their statement. We are here to talk about the well-being of these police officers, both serving, retired, dead, and their family members who deserve a better condition of service or after service. How could somebody serve this country for 35 years, 35 solid years, and they go home with 2 million naira? Some of them went home with 900,000 naira. Are you going to buy the charge card with 900,000 naira after 35 years? So even if we don't fight for them, it will be unconscionable on our part to ignore them, because the argument always is that, why are you fighting for police? Police is bad. Police is bad because Nigeria is also bad. Yes. The leaders of Nigeria are very bad leaders, and you cannot find a good police from a bad country. That is the truth. So we are going to continue our march towards the police headquarters. That's where we are coming from.
I was only paid from 2004 to 2017, and I was given 2 million naira. I become a nuisance to my family. I'm a nuisance to my neighbors, and I'm a nuisance to my immediate family. Then where do you want me to go? I can't eat. I barely eat once a day. Sometimes I take common Lipton to survive that day.
Now it is very clear that the serving police officers now must have to be corrupt for them to prepare themselves for retirement. As soon as you retire, you have been put into the death sentence. You can't leave. You can't leave. Therefore, we are warning the federal government and advising the lawmakers to exist as from the pen comes. Otherwise, in a very near future, they will regret it.
I'm a widow. I need my benefit, my remaining benefit with PENCOM. Let them pay me my benefit. My remaining money, let them pay me so that I will continue training my children. I'm a widow. Even my daughter, my last daughter, she's at State University. Yesterday I branched to see her. She was crying for her rent, 250,000 I'm paying. So this 22,000, how we start? I will gather how many years to pay her rent, talk of school fees.
In Edo State, Governor Monday Okpebholo has denied issuing a threat to Peter Obi, the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, following his recent visit to Benin, the state capital, where he made a donation to St. Philomena Hospital School of Nursing Sciences for the completion of projects in the school. Okpebholo, however, condemned Obi's visit to the state, insisting that it coincided with a resurgence of violence in the state. The governor had warned Obi against visiting Edo again without prior notice or facing the consequences. His remarks have, however, been greeted with a lot of backlash. Speaking through his chief press secretary, Fred Itua, in a statement, the governor said that his remarks were misinterpreted. He emphasized the need for high-profile individuals, particularly politically exposed persons, to notify and seek security clearance from the governor before embarking on any public engagement within the state. Reacting to this development in an interview with TV360 Nigeria, legal practitioner and political analyst Liberos Oshoma describes the demand as purely political, saying the protocol of seeking permission from a state governor before visiting is not constitutional but can be done based on courtesy.
Nobody needs any permission from anybody or any governor to visit any state. But most especially for politically exposed people, or, especially during politics, being the chief security officers, most times out of courtesy, people inform the state government that they're coming to their town or to their state to enable them make adequate preparation, provide security and all of that, or really out of courtesy. But otherwise, constitutionally, you are not required to inform anybody that you are coming to that state. It's simply a matter of courtesy. Also, to ensure that, because irrespective of political party, these people, are friends at that level. They are not quarreling. So also, a politically exposed person also might want to pay a courtesy visit on maybe the governor or the monarch or other persons in the state. So it is merely out of courtesy. You really don't need anybody's permission to visit any state. But I also understand the governor's explanation to some extent. They are all playing politics. We remember during the tenure of Godwin Obaseki, he did issue a similar warning to Adams Oshiomhole that as the chief security officer of the state, anytime he's coming into his state, considering especially when they now, were in different political parties, and anytime he was coming into his state and that his supporters were going to cause, uprising, that there was need for him to know. That also, the people that are supporting the governor today then condemned, or those that are condemning the governor today, supported Obaseki's statement because then they were in PDP and Obaseki was the governor. And those people who are supporting this governor today then condemned Obaseki's statement that that statement was reckless, it shouldn't have been made. And that's why for me, I think it's all politics that is at play here. And they also, even if the governor means, that certain permissions should be taken from him, as leaders, I think our leaders should also be tutored on how to make public statements. And so it is common amongst them. They do these things to themselves. Unfortunately now, Peter Obi is the one enjoying, the sympathy of his supporters, and that's why the Commissioner of Information in Edo State is trying to allude to what happened in Anambra State in his time as governor of the state, because they all do it to each other.
Let's go back to the story on the governor of Plateau State calling for the withdrawal of military personnel and officers. Now I'm being joined by a former commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo. It's great having you on the news. Now, let me start by asking, what's your reaction now to this call by Governor Mutfwang, calling for the withdrawal of military personnel from Plateau State and instead, calling for them to be replaced by mobile officers, saying that it will ensure, in quote now, it will ensure a more effective and responsive strategy that prioritizes fighting against asymmetrical warfare now?
You see, the army is known for national defense, and all sorts of defensive modes are available in the army. Even though we know that the Nigerian police has a special unit that we used to call an anti-riot squad of those days. And they are very specialized too in dealing with such matters as this. But calling for the total withdrawal of the army, I think will give an increase into the insurgency and the banditry and the rest of it. I do not think that this is the best time for anybody to call for the withdrawal of the army from the multinational joint task force. It is rather dangerous now to call for the withdrawal of the army from the system. It is good that the mobile police is a standby unit that the Nigerian police could use or the federal government could use at any time at quelling such kind of dangerous or riotous situations. But calling for an outright removal, I do not think that this is the best time for it.
Hausa and Fulani community elders now have condemned the call, like you have just done, saying that they are the target of this call. They cited an instance back in 2018 where mobile police officers allegedly now killed hundreds of Muslims during the post-election crisis in Jos. Now, are their fears justified in this case?
I think that was in 2008, not in 2018, where they said they were wearing police uniforms and attacked the Hausa Fulani headsmen or Hausa Fulani community. Those could not have been the actual Nigerian police riot policemen. Riot policemen are very disciplined officers, well trained to handle any such critical situations for and on behalf of the Nigerian police. And they have done well from the early 60s up to and including the time about 2009 when the issue of Boko Haram surfaced in Borno State. The mobile police did extremely well. So now I would not see anything that can stop them from doing more. But the Nigerian Army, I think, are the lead agency in this situation. Because the police left this matter too far, too little, too late to have handled it the way it should have. If they had maintained the law and then operate the law as it should be, maintenance and obedience of the law and order, most of these things would not have escalated to this dangerous situation we are in right now. Because right now we are almost in a quagmire, and withdrawing the army from the situation is not the best, I will continue to say. But the police also is another formidable force, especially the anti-riot police squad, who they call the MOPOL. Those guys are good.
All right, then we watch to see development in coming days. Security expert, Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo, thank you very much for speaking to us. Truly appreciate it. We'll take a short break. Still to come on news now. At least 19 persons killed and scores injured as Bangladesh Air Force jet crashes into college campus. Stay with us for details.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
Because when you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
They knew Nigeria is possible, they thought it's possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, and use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
Thank you for joining News Now again. Let's take you through our main stories. Leaders of the Muslim and Hausa Fulani communities in Plateau State have rejected calls by Governor Caleb Mutfwang for the withdrawal of the military from peacekeeping operations in the state and replace them with mobile policemen. The governor says this will ensure a more effective and responsive security strategy that prioritizes fighting against asymmetrical warfare, which the MOPOL is conversant with. However, in a statement issued on Sunday, the leaders expressed fears and concerns about the demand by the governor, saying Muslims and Fulani people are being targeted. We also told you that Edo State Governor Monday Okpebolo has denied issuing a threat to Peter Obi, the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate, following his recent visit to Benin, the state capital, where he made a donation to St. Philomena Hospital School of Nursing Sciences for the completion of projects in the school. Speaking through his chief press secretary, Fred Itua, in a statement, the governor said that his remarks were misinterpreted. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're TV360 Online. Let's switch to business news. Opeyemi Owosheni has the latest. Over to you, Opeyemi.
Thank you, Simi, and welcome to Business News. The governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, has raised concerns over the inflationary risk posed by rising liquidity levels in the banking system, warning that increasing statutory revenue disbursement through the Federation Account Allocation Committee could frustrate the bank's disinflation effort if not matched with tight monetary conditions. In his personal statement released after the 300 Monetary Policy Committee meeting held on May 20, 2025 and published on the CBN's official website, Cardoso noted that while inflation has started to moderate, emerging risk from increased liquidity injections require careful monetary vigilance. We'll take a short break now and be back with update from the stock markets. Welcome back. Now, Nigeria's equities market continued its upward momentum on Monday, defying analysts' expectation of a cautious trading session ahead of Tuesday's Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the Apex Bank. Now, despite early profit taken on the local bourse, the market closed at 0.18% higher. Now, in the aggregate, we'll see 129 listed equities participating in trading, ending on a negative note with 31 gainers and 45 losers. Now, NCL Nigeria led the gainers with a 10% share price appreciation, closing at 7 naira 26 kobo per share. So, further closing by Cotex, which closed at 4 naira 07 kobo. Now, at the close of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, we see 706 million shares changing hands in 30,750 deals, with a total market value exceeding 21 billion naira. Now, when compared to the previous trading session on Friday, July 18, today's trading session reflected a 68% decline in volume, a 46% decline in turnover, but an 8% improvement in the number of deals. Now, turning our gaze to the global market, two of our selected indices, that's the UK FTSE and US Dow Jones, closed in positive territory. However, Japan's Nikkei remained unchanged, with the country observing Ocean Day, a national holiday that celebrates the ocean significance to Japan as a maritime nation. Now, in the foreign exchange market, the Naira is trading at 1,620 Naira to the United States dollars, 2,016 Naira to the British pound, and 1,730 Naira to the euro, all on the parallel market. And that's it on both business and stock market updates. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Akwayemi. And on the foreign scene, at least 19 people have been killed and 164 others injured on Monday after a Bangladesh Air Force training jet crashed into a college and school campus in Dhaka, the nation's capital. According to a military spokesperson, the tragic incident occurred after the aircraft experienced a technical malfunction shortly after takeoff. The F-7 BGI fighter jet had departed from the Bangladesh Air Force base in Kurmitola, Dhaka at 1:06 p.m. local time as part of a routine training mission. However, it encountered a mechanical failure shortly after becoming airborne. Emergency response teams were swiftly deployed to the scene to conduct rescue operations and provide medical assistance. And the Chinese embassy in Singapore has dismissed allegations linking China to a cyber espionage group accused of targeting Singapore's critical infrastructure. The embassy's response follows reports that an alleged state-backed hacking group was behind a series of cyber intrusions into sensitive systems in Singapore. Chinese authorities have consistently denied any role in such activities, maintaining that China opposes all forms of cybercrime. And on sports, a Lagos-based club with over 150 young gymnasts, T-Tumblers Gymnasts Club, has organized its annual end-of-year gymnastics competition. The event provided a platform for young athletes to showcase their talent and celebrate the next generation of gymnasts by promoting leadership skills and incorporating Olympic standard training practices. According to the founder of T-Tumblers, gymnastics offers numerous benefits that contribute significantly to a child's overall development.
Spreading the word and creating more awareness, because we still have a lot of people who do not know that gymnastics even exists and understand the actual benefits of gymnastics. Gymnastics is the foundation for any sport any child wants to do. It helps with so many skills and values that is beneficial for every child. So the idea is to get more parents involved and to spread the word out there, to get more people involved in partnering with gymnastics. There's much support from the government. It's been private partnerships to bring us this far. However, we're still trying to solicit, because we can't do it by ourselves. Gymnastics is not an individual sport, it's a team sport, and it takes a lot. It's an expensive sport as well. So we do need collaboration from government. We're trying and we'll still continue to try. It's a growing sport in Nigeria, but I feel like it would eventually get to where it needs to go.
That helps with your strength, your confidence, because you're constantly in front of a crowd, and it also helps with hand-eye coordination, balance, and with my confidence, because before I remember I was very shy, I could not present in front of people, and it helped with my confidence, it helped with my strength. Now I'm stronger, and I can balance well as well.
I think my daughter is quite athletic and active, and I think that gymnastics has allowed her to channel her activity and her flexibility, and she's very active, so just channel all of that into the right direction. She is also very much more disciplined. We're able to use gymnastics as a way to control her at home when she's misbehaving. But it's been very healthy for her. She likes to practice, she likes to go to her gymnastics competitions, she likes to be part of a team, she likes to practice on her own. So I think team building skills, confidence, exercise, discipline, she's learning all of those things at a very young age. And I think that will be tremendously beneficial to her as she becomes a young woman.
That wraps up our bulletin. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.